what's up, what's up? It's your man, ChazzEllis, once again, answering the questions that you ask me. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com and be a part of picking the next video. You can also get a consultation, or you can make a donation if you want to, or get a quick question, whatever. Anyway, the question that I got is, how do men fall in love? You know, a lot of people want to know that. They want to know how men fall in love. What makes a dude fall in love? What is it? What happens? I talk about this sometime, you know, in different videos. I go into a little bit of details about different situations where, you know, how to connect emotionally with men, you know, how to build value, things of that nature. But this is really just going into how men fall in love. What makes a guy fall in love? When you look at men, men are different from women because most women seek love. I mean, that's kind of a dream for them, for the most part, is to fall in love. I ain't saying all of you. I know somebody out there going, I don't want to fall in love. That's not what I want with my life. You know, I know somebody out there saying that, but for the most part, I mean, you know, every email I get from women is usually about falling in love. That's what most women want to do. Anyway, for men, it's a little bit different. Men generally fall in love for one of three reasons. Either it's out of desperation, duty, or because of use. Because they're getting a certain use out of the situation, because the woman has made themselves valuable to them. They've made themselves necessary to them. Now, the first one, when a man falls in love out of desperation, you're probably like, what does that mean? It'll make sense to you in a second, and you'll probably recognize somebody who's done this with you. A man falls in love out of desperation when he has no other options. You know, a lot of women hit me up all the time and say, man, I got this guy, he's in love with me, but I'm not really interested in him. You know, we just met, and all of a sudden he's over here proposing to me, telling me he can't live without me, and all this stuff, and I've known this dude for 2 days. I'm not getting it. Well, that's when a person generally is falling in love out of desperation. That means they don't have any other real options. Things aren't going too well for them in terms of women. Things that may not be going too well for them on the job front or the financial fields and everything. They might be doing bad. They're shooting bad pretty much. So now they're in a position where they're just automatically turned on to love. They focus and zero in on love. That's because they generally just don't have anything else going for them. They can't just go out there and get another woman anytime they want to. So therefore, they're going to commit to anybody. Now, the thing about this is the relationship generally will not last, because if they don't get any better, you get tired of being with them, because nobody wants to be with somebody who can't get anybody else. So it runs its course because of that. Or they do get better. Then what happens? They no longer want to be in love anymore. Some of you have already dealt with that. Where they're like, I ain't trying to be in love. I don't know if I want to be married. I don't know if I want to be tied down. I don't know if I want to be in this situation. You know, that kind of thing. This happens. So that's desperation, and that's what it generally produces. It produces a situation when they're doing better, they no longer want to be with you. The second one is love based on duty. A lot of times this happens when you get pregnant really early. This can happen because of, you know, their religious reasons, family pressure. This is basically when somebody feels like they owe you something, or they're obligated to love you because of some reason, and it could be for a whole different group of reasons. It could be a bunch of them, but whatever their reason is, they've decided that they have to love you. Now, the thing about this is, when someone is loving you out of duty, that means they generally feel like they're doing you a favor by being with you. They are doing their part. That means they usually don't treat you so well. Some of you have already dealt with this. Somebody's acting like they're doing you a favor every single day that they wake up next to you. Like, look, hey, I'm here, right? They don't feel like they have to do anything else. Like, hey, I woke up next to you, didn't I wake up next to you? What are you upset about? I'm here, right? You know, they coming at you like that. You know, they don't remember any of your dates, like Valentine's Day or your anniversary or your birthday or stuff like that. They don't feel like they have to do that because they're looking at it like, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm here. All right, I didn't dump you. I didn't divorce you. I didn't leave you. I'm here. Leave me alone. You know, usually this doesn't last because either you get tired of getting treated like dirt, or they don't feel, at some point, the sense of duty wears off. They no longer feel like they have to stick around. They're like, hey, I did my part. I did all I could do. Or you make a simple mistake, and that gives them a reason to be released. And it could be a bad mistake or whatever, but that makes them feel like they get a reason to be released. They're like, oh, hey, whoa. I was staying with you out of this sense of duty, but you messed up. Deuces. That set me free. Nope, contract broken. Bye. I'm out. I don't want to hear it. You know, they're not going to try to work with you on anything because they feel like they were doing you a favor by being there in the first place. So once you mess up, it's over. And then you have men who fall in love because of use. Now, I know that probably sounds weird to people like, what use? Whatever. Just because you have provided them, you have become necessary in their life. You have done certain things for them. You have become a part of their life that they feel like they cannot do without. You have become a part of their existence. Now, when you do that with a man, it's very difficult for that man to be able to move on or replace you. This gives you a certain power in the relationship. Because the truth is, guys are really not looking to fall in love. But they're also not looking to lose the person that has built a certain bond with them. And we can pretty much take this across the board. Who is the person that pretty much every guy is most loyal to? Right off the bat. People out there already say, his mama. His mama. His mama the person he's most loyal to. You take a guy who won't get something. You take a guy who won't give you a back rub. And he'll go across town in the middle of the night to get something off a shelf for his mama. You ever think about that? Why that happens? Because mothers have already figured out how men operate, and they are a part of that. They understand how a man operates. They know that, because this is what men know about their moms. Mama is the most loyal person in the world to a man. That dude could shoot up a mall, and mama would be like, well, this is what y'all don't get, okay? They got in the way of his bullets, okay? He's the victim here. He spent like $400 worth of bullets shooting those people. And he didn't mean it, okay? It's not his fault. He was just shooting. And they was running all in the way of his bullets. If they wouldn't have panicked, they'd still be alive. That's a mama, okay? So that's a use to him. Because he knows that the crap hits the fan, mama gonna be there. Now, for most women, when it hits the fan, where are you? You know, you probably gonna chuck him the deuces. He loses his job, you might not be there. He falls on hard times in some kind of way, you might not be there. You know, you might turn against him and be the person that his mom has to help him against because something happened in y'all relationship. He cheated or something like that. Now he's trying to tear his whole life apart. So mom will generally take precedence because she's the person that's going to be most loyal. If dude is hungry, what does mom do? Cook his food. Generally, mom is like, I got you on this food. Don't even worry about it, baby. And she's making food. You know, where maybe you don't feel like doing that or you don't want to do that. You're like, I don't got to cater to you and all that kind of stuff. So his mom is always staying up here because she understands the psychology of that particular dude. She gets it. She's like, I know that my loyalty and being there for him will make him serve me. That's why he'll serve her above you. Because the guy generally believes that his mother's always going to be there for him. And here's what a lot of women don't understand about men. And people in general, there's a lot of people don't understand this about other people. When you're around somebody who thinks you hang the moon, the sun rises and sets in your eyes, you don't want them to lose that impression of you. Mom thinks that about him. A lot of times, maybe you haven't shown that you thought that about him. And because of that, he's not necessarily trying to rescue a particular image with you. He's like, you know, well, you can take me or leave me, so I can take you or leave you. I can always find somebody who thinks that I'm just a random dude, you know, but finding somebody who thinks that I'm on top of the world, that's different. Finding somebody who's willing to help me is different. Finding somebody who's willing to defend me is different. So when you want to be somebody who is so valuable to a person that they can't throw you away, you have to be that person that has that level of loyalty. You have to be that person that has that level of assistance, where you're constantly being willing to help that person achieve their goals and dreams. You have to be that type of person who has that who has that feeling about that person, like, you know, they just set the world on fire. And if you don't feel that about somebody, I would suggest that that's not the person you choose to fall in love with. Because if you do, the most likely scenario is going to be that they're not going to stick around, because you don't have the value. Other people are going to be put above you because you just don't have the value. If you don't think a lot of him, that means that when he walks around you, he doesn't think a lot of himself for being with you. He feels like he can find somebody who does think that of him. He's like, you know what, this girl don't think I'm all that. You know what, I can find somebody who does. So these are things you want to do. You want to show a guy that you have use in his life, and this gives you power. This is how mom has so much power. A lot of women go, he's a mama's boy. But what they don't ever think about, they don't ever think, wait a minute, how do I get that from a man? It seems like every guy I run into is either a mama's boy or just don't care about a woman regardless. You just don't care. How do I get what mama got? How do I get some of that loyalty? I ain't saying I got to have, you know, everything that she got, but I'm just saying, how do I get some of that loyalty? Well, that's how you get it. When you think that person hangs the moon, when you feel like that person is, when you're of service and you have a loyalty to that person, that's big. And then you have to add one thing with that. All of the service, all the loyalty and everything, you have to be the best person that you can be going into the situation. Now, a lot of people don't do that. They do all other stuff. They might be like, okay, I think you hang the moon, da da da, but they don't really bring their best to a relationship. A lot of times they only think that because they feel like they're a little bit below where the person is. You also have to do those things and bring your best to a relationship. Because in a relationship, in love in general, whether it's man or woman, it first starts out being about who you are, then it's about who you are to them. Until they care about who you are, none of the rest of this stuff matters. And the way men fall in love in terms of caring about somebody that they have use for is first they care about who they are, and then it's how loyal are you? Are you willing to help me with my dream? Do you think a lot of me? That's what gets that person to that next level of saying, I love you and I'm not going anywhere no matter what, because I know I can't find better. Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, ChazzEllis. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Also, go to the ChazzEllisProject.com. Peace.